Puzzles. They're in about every game you can think of, so they can't be that hard to implement, right? Well, this'll be fun. From the last episode, you might remember me discussing a play place when I was talking about the plot, while he was busy in the play place. But you also might have noticed during the tour, there was no sign of a play place. So today we're building a play place. I sketched out another blueprint for the play place in A-Sprite, and of course it's not the exact same anymore. I built these out each individually using voxel, but there seems to be a problem because I didn't line them up properly in the files. So now they don't line up properly in the project, which means we're manually placing each individual one to line up just perfectly. I know this is an awful way to do it, but trust me, it should be fine, hopefully. How are we going to get up there though? I think we need a ladder. I really wanted to figure this one out on my own without using any help from ChatGPT, as I have used in the past, and I think I figured out a way. It's a little janky. Basically, I have a collision box at the bottom of the ladder, and when the player enters it, a signal connects back to the player to say, send me up this amount of distance. It technically works. Is it the best way to do it? Probably not. Am I going to keep it? Yes. But when I was trying to get the distance just correct, I had some pretty crazy moments happen. All right, ladder test number 1. Just want to make sure it's working. I set the velocity to 25, so hopefully that should be enough to get us up there. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Well, it works. When I got launched up super high, it kind of reminded me of a trampoline. So what if we had a platforming puzzle in an entirely different room? Alright, we're going for the ladder test. I've done this a little bit before. I'm not the best at it, but I think I could do it. That is 3 right here. And then 4, and as you can see, they get smaller and smaller as you go through the entire thing. Oh, this is where it gets tricky. It's a lot harder than it looks. I don't really know how long I want to have the timer, but definitely not too short because then it would be way too hard. Okay. Here's this one, and this one, and oh my goodness, you have to hold like the entire way for that. Let's try one more time. I think I got the hang of it now. Once you do it a few times, it's not too bad. And yes, okay, one more. A little bit of cheese, but it's fine. Got the coin. And we did it. Don't worry, this entire place will look a lot better in the refinement episode coming up. Now, I do plan to add a timer to the trampolines to basically when the timer goes off, the trampolines fall underground and you can no longer bounce. And you have to go back and hit the button and restart. I think this will just add the right amount of tension and just make it so much more difficult. Another thing that I might do is add a conveyor belt on the left or right side to take the player all the way across back to the start so they don't have to walk all the way back. It'll use the same tech that the ladder does and just launch them. I think it'll be fun too. And I think that's all for the trampoline puzzle. Y'all let me know if there's anything else I need to add. Okay, before we continue, I do want to explain the gameplay because I realized I never really explained that in the last episode. Basically when, what'd I call him? Timothy. When Timothy gets to the arcade, he realizes he forgot all of his coins at home. So now he has to go around the arcade and find the coins. And to find the coins, he has to complete 4 different puzzles. So before I continue to make any of these puzzles, I just want to make sure that the coin is able to be picked up. Okay, so I set up the code to when I walk up to this coin and click E, it should prompt at the bottom saying, coin has been picked up. And coin has been not picked up. I've done some digging online, and I've got some pretty bad news. Apparently, print statements don't work on the Mac version of Godot. I am using the Mac version of Godot. Luckily, though. So this is Editing Jackson here, and apparently I found out I'm just an idiot because I was looking at the Mac version of Godot to just make sure I was talking about the right thing, and apparently I had the print statement thingies turned off like this, so whenever I launched the game and I had that turned off, I would go up to the coin and I would go up and I would hit E, nothing shows up. But then if I have these turned on, you can see there's a whole bunch of stuff here, which is kind of weird, but anyways, you can see coin has been picked up. So really, I didn't have to change to Windows, which you're about to hear, but you know, I'm kind of glad I did, because I kind of like the Windows version a little better, even though the Mac version of Godot is optimized very well, so I'd still recommend. Anyways, back to the video. I do have a Windows laptop with me, and we'll just be using that for now. But that also means I have to transfer the entire game from Mac to Windows. Yeah, so I may have lied to you. Those errors from before, that's actually just from transferring the game from Mac to Windows. Anyways, basically the updated version of the game right now is just not working on Windows for whatever reason. Luckily, I do have a recent version of it, and it shouldn't take that much to implement all the things that I've just did. Okay, so now we got to get on to more of the puzzles for the game. So I plan to have one in the new area that y'all just saw, in the kitchen, in the bathroom, and in the dining space. Next up, we've got the vase puzzle, which might actually change to the Quaxon statue puzzle. We'll see. This puzzle took me so long to code, not because it was hard, but because it was tedious, because I had to copy the code for every single vase that there is. Basically, there's a bunch of different colored vases throughout the entire arcade. And now there's a bunch of different colored tables in the dining hall. What could the correlation be? I don't know. Let's try it. Basically, you'll pick up a vase, and no, you can't pick up two vases at the same time because that would be not allowed. You go over to the coordinated table and click E. This puzzle is the only puzzle that is entirely complete because the other ones just have a little bit of kinks in them that need to be ironed out in a later episode because I don't want to do it right now. And once you get all the vases on, your coin appears right in the center one. Now, I've already done a few playtests with these puzzles, and this one seems to be the hardest one for all of them. Basically, there's two bathrooms, as I showed in the tour of the last episode. In one of them, you can't change a single thing, and the other, you can change a lot of things. Right now, it's only a few things, but eventually I'll change it to where you can toggle through all of them. Now, as a viewer, you might see where I'm going with this, but apparently to all the playtesters, none of them could really figure it out. All you have to do is spot the difference between the first one and the second one. In the second one, you're going to change the things to what it was in the first one. And of course, you're going to change the toilet paper to the correct orientation, and you cannot convince me otherwise. Basically, when you match all the things, your coin will appear and you can continue to play Cross the Road and beat that record. Kind of. This one is the kitchen puzzle. Basically, there's a PNG of a burger. Now there's a bun right beneath it. Oh, look, there's a bunch of burger ingredients lying around. Do I stack these? Yes, once you stack them, your coin will appear. Right now, though, there is a really odd problem I have with it, which I'll fix in a different episode. Basically, I can have a floating tomato. Care for a floating lettuce? How about a floating patty? No, that one doesn't float. I know. It's been 3 months since the last episode, but don't worry, because the next one, right after this one, will be out in like a week, and it seems we might get to be playing our beloved arcade game.